Hi Brollies, Marvin here from TechBroll.com, where we do unboxings, reviews, and sexy B-rolls. And today we're going to check out the latest gaming headphones from Cooler Master. They've actually been doing great recently when it comes to their audio gears, especially with the MH751 and MH752, and I'm interested to see if they can continue that with the new MH630 and MH650 that we're taking a look at today. And since you're awesome guys, and to give back for your support on this channel and to Cooler Master, we're going to give away one Cooler Master MM710 gaming mouse, so stick around. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so right here I have the packaging for the Cooler Master MH650 and MH630. So let's start the unboxing with the MH630 first. Essentially, the main difference of this compared to the MH650 is the interface. This one uses the traditional 3.5mm interface and is multi-platform compatible with other devices such as smartphones, tablets, consoles, and basically all devices with a 3.5mm jack. On the other side, we just have the model name and Cooler Master's website in different languages, and on the other side, some brandings, and at the bottom, some certifications, address, and contact numbers of Cooler Master, which may come in handy for support. And then at the back of the box, we have the specifications and key features that we're going to tackle in depth in this video. As for the MH650, the packaging is pretty much the same, and the other difference of this compared to the MH630, aside from the interface, is that this one has RGB illumination, has 7.1 virtual surround sound, and of course, has software support. Other than that, pretty much identical, but we'll see later exactly how they differ. As for the details around the packaging, again, it's almost identical with just minor differences in their specifications and some of their key features. Alright, so let's unbox the Cooler Master MH630 first. And since this is more on the budget category compared to the Cooler Master MH751, we don't have a hard box packaging inside, and we only have a plastic platform here. Not a big deal, but a difference nonetheless. So we have the detachable microphone here, which looks exactly the same as what the MH751 has, which is actually a good sign. And then we have the Cooler Master MH630 itself, but underneath the platform we have a few more items here. We have the user manual in different languages, a guarantee certificate, and a nice velvet pouch right here. So the packaging might not be as premium as the MH751, but the contents are certainly not lacking. At first, I had a hard time looking for the cables, but apparently it is here on the center underneath this cover. I actually missed that instruction right here. But yeah, we have the 3.5mm cable, which has a gold-plated TRRS to TRRS plug. The cable is actually quite soft and flexible but durable thanks to the braided construction. And lastly, we also have an audio splitter to split both the input and output signals. Okay, so at first look and touch, although it looks bulky, it's actually quite lightweight. The construction is made mostly of plastic materials, but it doesn't feel that flimsy at all, and it is extremely flexible as you can see here. Even at first touch, I feel like I have the confidence that I can stretch and flex it as much as I want without breaking, which is a good sign when it comes to build quality, especially considering the fact that this is mostly made out of plastic. Of course, anything has its limits, so you still have to be easy with your gears, but this is a good sign that this headset can take some beating and of course, will help with the overall comfort factor as well. Now, flipping it on its front side, we have a purple lining here, which represents the Cooler Master branding, a subtle and modern Cooler Master logo, and a nice textured finish on the ear cup itself. Flipping it on its side, we have different smooth texture here, and we also have the controls. So we have a dedicated volume wheel, a microphone mute button, the 3.5mm jack for output, and the 3.5mm jack for the microphone input covered with a rubber flap. Now, flipping it all over at the other side, we have a nice and soft ear pads with the sort of fabric material that I actually like. And I also like the oblong shape that should fit most ear sizes like mine, which is relatively big, so this is a good sign for me. Like I said, the earbuds are extremely soft, and it also has an adequate size partnered with another soft padding inside for the driver wall, and we also have a rather large left sign here, so there's no excuse for you to miss which way you should wear these headphones. Now in terms of the headband, of course it is adjustable with strong and defined notches to it, and the headband itself is made of a combination of aluminum and flexible plastic, allowing for a decent amount of adjustment. On the other side ear cups, it is pretty much the same design but without any buttons and ports. Again, as you can see, the Cooler Master MH630 is quite flexible and it's actually very satisfying to play around. And lastly, I almost forgot, we also have a substantial amount of cushion on the headband itself with the same cloth type material. Overall, in terms of design, construction, and adjustment options, I really like what Cooler Master did with this one. And since it uses the 3.5mm interface and also comes with a nice velvet pouch, you can also use this for traveling if you're into that. Now let's take a look at the Cooler Master MH650, which is the USB version of this. And like I said, the packaging is essentially the same, so let's see what comes in the package. So the package contents, as expected, is almost the same as well, with a detachable microphone, a user manual, and the same velvet pouch, but instead of an audio splitter, we have a USB Type-A to USB Type-C adapter, and the cable is apparently not removable, which makes sense since it is using the USB interface. Aside from that, in terms of buttons and ports, we have the same volume wheel, a dedicated mute button, and the same 3.5mm port for the detachable microphone. Another difference is that we also have a dedicated 7.1 virtual surround sound button, an LED indicator, and a button for the LED illumination. Another notable difference is with the cable. The non-detachable cable that we have right here for the MH650 is significantly stiffer than what we have with the MH630, which is quite flexible. And since the MH650 is powered via USB, we also have LED illumination around the ear cup compared to just a purple lining on the MH630. And lastly, another key difference is that the Cooler Master MH650 has a gray colored legend inside the ear cups, while the MH630 has a purple one to match the purple lining on the other side. But aside from those things that I've mentioned, it is pretty much identical with the MH630 when it comes to design, construction, and overall build quality. Moving on, let's talk about the sound quality, which is one of the most important things that we should discuss in this review. Let's start off with volume levels. The Cooler Master MH630 doesn't get as loud as I would like when directly connected into a PC, which I guess is the case with most people. It's adequate, but you won't get its full potential unless you connect it to an amplifier, audio interface, or a sound card to increase the volume levels. Your mileage may vary, of course, depending on the power delivery your motherboard can provide, but yeah, ideally, it is better to use an external DAC with an amplifier or an audio interface for much cleaner audio as well as decent volume levels. As for the Cooler Master MH650, it is good to go out of the box and is plug and play. It can get significantly loud thanks to its better power delivery via the USB interface, and you can also take advantage of the 7.1 virtual surround sound and further tweak the sound signature using the available equalizer on the Cooler Master Plus software. Speaking of sound signature, both the MH630 and MH650 has pretty much the same sound signature out of the box, with a somehow balanced sound with plenty of punch on the low end and decent kick on the highs without overpowering the mids. Vocals are adequate and clear and sit right in the middle of the sound stage. I'd say the audio quality coming from both these headphones are really good, crispy clear, and I find it very good for gaming as I tested both in Call of Duty Modern Warfare for a few days now. You can definitely hear the footsteps, gunshots, and explosions with this without over-fatiguing your ears with boosted bass and highs on other gaming headsets. And in my opinion, sound quality wise, it is absolutely ideal for gaming and for music listening too, with its clear and somehow balanced sound signature out of the box. However, in terms of the 7.1 virtual surround sound, to be honest, I don't think it is quite effective at its default settings. Like, I cannot seem to easily recognize each sound source unless I carefully listen to it, which takes away to the whole idea of having a surround sound. And if you want to make it somehow usable, you can set the distance of the sound source using the Master Plus software to the farthest setting, and with that, it makes the experience a little bit better with better audio positioning. However, volume levels are significantly reduced when using the 7.1 virtual surround sound, and setting the sound source to the farthest distance makes the volume levels even lower. Overall, I don't recommend using this feature if you want the best audio quality possible. You're better off with the stereo mode. And this actually brings me to the conclusion that virtual surround sound feature is really a hit or miss when it comes to these budget gaming headsets. Now, when it comes to the microphone quality, both the Cooler Master MH630 and the MH650 did not disappoint, and I somehow expected that given the fact that they are using the same microphone as the Cooler Master MH751, which is outstanding. With that being said, I did two different tests. One is a not so ideal scenario with lots of background noise, and another one with a relatively quiet environment. So let's listen to some microphone test. This is a microphone test for the Cooler Master MH630 using the included audio splitter and directly connected to my system unit. The microphone's gain is 100% with additional plus 10 decibels boost. Again, this is a microphone test for the Cooler Master MH630 using the included audio splitter directly connected to my system unit, and the microphone's gain is 100% with additional plus 10 decibels boost. This is a microphone test for the Cooler Master MH650 using the USB interface without any post-processing or effects. Again, this is a microphone test for the Cooler Master MH650 using the USB interface without any post-processing or effects. The microphone's gain level is around 90%. So this is a microphone test for the Cooler Master MH630 gaming headset. And right now, our air conditioning is turned on and my system unit here has all the fans at full speed. So this is basically the raw microphone quality for the Cooler Master MH630. I'm using the included audio splitter and connected directly on the front panel connectors on my system unit. So this is the setting that you will be expecting out of the box. So let me know in the comments below what you think about the quality, guys. And so earlier I also streamed to test the Cooler Master MH630, which is the 3.5mm interface, and this one is the USB interface with 7.1 virtual surround sound. So again, this is the Cooler Master MH650. So this is a microphone test for the Cooler Master MH650. And this an out-of-the-box settings, so I didn't add any post-processing, filter, and what have you. I just directly connected the USB on the USB port on my PC, and that's about it, guys. So this is the raw audio coming from the microphone of the Cooler Master MH650. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about the quality of the microphone for the USB version of this gaming headset. Now, one thing that I don't like about the design when it comes to the microphone is the rubber cover. I think it's not necessary and it simply doesn't look good and quite irritating to fiddle around. Now, when it comes to comparing these two with the Cooler Master MH751, for those of you who are asking, I'd say the audio quality is not too far away from each other. All of them are good and I can definitely recommend any of these three. And all you have to figure out is the shape and interface that would fit your personal preference and use case scenarios. As for comfort, I'd say both the MH630 and the MH650 are heavier than the MH751, so that's one thing worth considering. But in terms of padding and materials used, I prefer the cloth type padding of the MH630 and MH650 as it doesn't heat up my ears as much as the MH751 with synthetic leather does. Both the MH630 and MH650 also have more soft padding, especially on the headband, and they are both significantly flexible compared to the robust build construction of the MH751. Well, at the end of the day, they are all quite comfortable. Moving on, let's discuss one important factor that you need to consider, which is the interface. So let's talk about the interfaces of both of these headphones to give you an idea about the main differences and to help you decide which one you should consider depending on your preferences and use case scenarios. Now, here's the thing, guys. If you're planning on using the headphone with a DAC with an amplifier, or perhaps an audio interface, or generally use it for your devices with a 3.5mm jack, then of course, you should consider the MH630 or the MH751. You just have to make sure you have a proper amplifier to power this so that you can get the best audio quality. The good thing about this is that of course it is quite versatile and multi-platform compatible, which means you can use it with your PC, smartphones, tablets, and consoles. On the other hand, if you're planning on using this mainly with your PC and you want to experience the 7.1 virtual surround sound, or perhaps you want the flexibility of further tuning the sound signature, or if you simply want RGB illumination, then you can do all that with the MH650 since it is powered via USB and supported by the Master Plus software. And lastly, audio and microphone quality is generally better out of the box with the Cooler Master MH650. So if I have to pick one and I don't have an amplifier, then I'll go with the MH650. However, if you have the budget, I strongly recommend going for the Cooler Master MH752 because you'll have the best of both worlds of the 3.5mm interface as well as a USB sound card. But of course, comfort should always be considered, so check out my review of the Cooler Master MH751, which is basically the same as the MH752. All of these models are actually quite comfortable and I can easily recommend any of these. Alright, so before we end this video, let's check out the Master Plus software and discuss the features that you can take advantage of for the Cooler Master MH650. Now, the good thing here is that the Cooler Master software is unified, which means you'll only need one software for all of your Cooler Master peripherals. So inside the software, we have the lighting tab, wherein you can configure the lighting effects on the RGB lining around the ear cup. However, it is quite limited with just color cycle, static, breathing, and off. You can adjust the speed, brightness, and colors, but unfortunately, color reproduction is quite poor outside the available preset colors. Like if you pick one from the color palette, sometimes it doesn't reproduce the colors very well. Another thing that I noticed is that the left side ear cap warms up a bit, but thankfully it doesn't translate on the earbuds, so it is not an issue but worth mentioning as part of this review. Going back to the software, we also have the sound tab, wherein you can further tweak the sound signature, volume levels, microphone gain, and you can also save your own custom sound profiles. And lastly, we have the 7.1 surround sound tab, wherein you can configure the virtual surround sound feature. You can change the distance and the location of the sound source, but like I said earlier, in my opinion, this is not the best implementation I've experienced when it comes to virtual surround sound. Alright, so to conclude, both the Cooler Master MH630 and MH650 is a pretty decent option. They both have decent design and construction with tons of flexibility and adjustment options, partnered with comfortable soft padding and breathable cloth material. Audio quality wise, they both sound good, with the MH650 sounding a bit better out of the box thanks to its better power delivery, while the MH630 having more flexibility when it comes to multi-platform compatibility via the 3.5mm interface. At the end of the day, like I said, you just have to choose which interface best suits your needs. Alright guys, like I said, we're going to give away one Cooler Master MM710 gaming mouse, and all you have to do to participate is like and share this video, of course subscribe, and most importantly, comment down below which one of these two headsets would you pick if given a chance. This is for Philippine residents only, by the way, as I will be the one shipping this out. Winner will be announced on May 18 via our Facebook page. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to check the full article link below. Huge thanks to Cooler Master for sending this in and for sponsoring our giveaway. You can get these headphones once available using the links below. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and please consider turning on the bell notification so that you won't miss our future videos. Thank you and have a great day guys.